Hello, everybody. Welcome. Do you want to live off of passive income? Do you want to get there as quickly as you possibly can? Are you tired of working a job that's no longer satisfying? Well, you come to the right video today. Before I get started, I want to give a shout out to all the people that viewed these videos and to my subscribers. Thank you. We've gotten up to 107 views, 4 hours of watch time, and 2 subscribers. So thank you guys for that. Now, let's go ahead and discuss how we intend to live off of passive income the fastest way possible. So, in front of us, you can see that we have the dividend calculator from the marketbeat.com website. So, we're going to go ahead and run through some numbers here. We've picked some random ETFs that we could use. So, we'll start with the Vanguard High Dividend Yield ETF, which us personally, as you guys know, we love high yielding stocks. We do believe in dividend growth stocks, but we think that having a mix of the two is good. But nobody really wants to sit around for 30 years and wait to see enough passive income to be able to live off of, right? So here it is. You got the individual stock distribution frequency is going to be annually. We're going to reinvest the dividends. We're going to start with a share count of 0, assuming that we're going to start fresh with a brand new portfolio, no money, just beginning to contribute from the ground up. The share price is automatically calculated in. We're going to go with $100 a month of monthly contributions, which would come out to $1,200 a year. The effective dividend tax rate, which is pretty much about what our tax rate is currently. The annual dividend yield's already set. We'll go for the numbers that they basically gave us, which is 3% annual dividend amount increase, 3% annual share price increase. And we're going to calculate the numbers for 20 years, see what we get. So let's just say that our goal is to get to a point where we're making, I don't know, $1,000 a month. $1,000 a month could really do a lot for a lot of people, right? Imagine what you can do with an extra $1,000 a month on top of your job or on top of your business or just in general. I mean, there's a lot of places around the world that we could technically retire on just $1,000 a month. So you can see here that the annual dividend, or basically the income that we would live off of, is increasing over time. And after 20 years, we would have roughly around $1,300 a month, or slightly over $100. $1,300 a year, slightly over $100 a month in passive income. That's pretty good. I mean, how many people that are retired would like an extra $100 a month? We don't really think that there's anybody out there that would not like to have an extra $100 a month. So if we go ahead and run over to the next ETF, which is slightly higher yielding, we'll go with the QYLD. You can see her on the NASDAQ.com what the dividend yields are. So QYLD is 12.05%. So we're going to change the initial yield to 12.05%. Shares to 0. Annual dividend or annual contribution to $1,200 a year. Now, from what we can see, this one increases much more incrementally over time. It's much faster to grow. So after 20 years on this one, we would be at $11,203.91 a year. And if we calculate this, it comes out to about $933 a month. That's a lot, but it's still not enough to live on. So let's go ahead and go to the next one, which is CLM. Cornerstone Strategic Value Fund. Basically what this is, I'm just going to give a snapshot here. It's a fund that pays a very high dividend yield out of the NAV that has a majority of the S&P holdings in it, with about a 21% dividend yield. So we got CLM here. We're going to go back to 0 shares. Annual contribution, $1,200 a month, or $1,200 a year. The dividend yield currently is 17.02%, so we'll go with that. Now, from what we can see, the growth rate of this thing is much more exponential, much more aggressive than what was with QYLD. So, in order to hit that roughly $1,000 a month that we would have needed to hit on QLD, which would have taken about 20 years, on CLM, we would only have to get to 16 years to get roughly the same amount of monthly passive income. So that's a pretty substantial increase. After 20 years, we would be at 27,000. 27,000 would be about 2250 a month, which is pretty substantial. There's a lot of places in the world that we could live on 2250 a month. Now let's move on to the next one, which is we're gonna use Tesla as our example. So Tesla Option Income Strategy ETF. We've made videos on this before, but we want to use this to emphasize just how powerful the growth rate of this is. So Tesla currently has a yield of 75.43%. So 75.43%. Start out with 0 shares. We're starting from the ground up. The annual contribution rate of $1,200 a year. And we'll calculate. Now, as we can see here, it takes way less time to get to the $1,000 to $2,000 a month of passive income. Down here at the bottom, it shows a pretty insane number of $23.2 million in passive income every year. We're not really expecting to get to that point, if ever. Definitely not in the next 20 years. But this just goes to show as an example how powerful the compounded effects of this is. So just with Tesla alone, with putting $100 a month into Tesla every month for the next 20 years, assuming that you wanted to put some of that money into other high yielding index funds or dividend paying stocks, or you wanted to put some of that money in your Roth IRA, or you just wanted to go out there and live your life and you didn't want to put all of your money every month into passive income or investments, it would only take us roughly about 6 to 7 years to get to those same numbers. So this is the power of the YieldMax funds, the power of Tesla, and the power of the dividend snowball effect. There's also, with YieldMax, there's multiple different options here. You don't necessarily have to pick Tesla. You could pick OARK, you could pick Aptly and VIDI, which is Kathy Wood's ARKK fund, Apple, NVIDIA. And then they have some here that they just currently released for AMZY, FB, and GOOY, which is Amazon, Facebook, and Google. And there's also the option to pick Crane Shares Clip if you guys wanted to. You could get exposure to basically China's most popular internet stocks, get a pretty massive 50 to 53% dividend yield, which does pay monthly. These all pay monthly. So this is the fastest way to be able to live off of passive income. And if you guys like this, please like, comment, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And I will see y'all later. Peace.